I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
A very warm welcome in good old Dubai fashion to the pit row of the Gulf Historic. This is one of the most important motoring events in the UAE, if not in the world. The reason being is we're about to see some of the greatest F1 drivers of all time get behind the wheels of restored vintage F1 cars yet again. On top of that, we'll also be seeing some Le Mans drivers, previous world champions of that, get back behind the wheel of Le Mans classic cars, all the way from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. There's also a stream of the most beautiful classic cars you could ever possibly imagine that will be in tow, doing some laps around the track a little bit later. But we're just taking a stroll through pit lane. The drivers are getting ready. You can start hearing the V8s and carbureted motors getting ready and warmed up. So we're going to be following the racing. Qualifying is about to start. Racing starts on Saturday. Be sure to follow along. We're on pit lane for the 90s F1 demonstration, and if you can see behind me, that is factually correct. Prost Marlboro Ferrari from the 90s, the F1 World Championship winning model. It's about to head out on the track. There's 4 or 5 F1s from the 90s lined up behind them. You probably can't hear this on your little microphone at home, but it is so loud down here, and there's a smell of racing fuel is burning my nostril hairs, but it is so cool to be here. It's very hot. The guys are going to go put down some hot laps at the moment. This is still the qualifications, but my God, is this exciting. How does it feel to be lined up in the most iconic F1 car of all time, about to go and spin some laps?
Oh, it's just a dream. I have to say the truth. No more word to say about that. It's just a dream. Yeah.
I can say every single guy here is jealous of you. I think you've got the ultimate foam on you. So absolutely enjoy it out there. Be safe and drive it like hell. Cheers. Right, so I'm here with Sophia Foreign, F3 driver. We just seen you spin some laps on the track. We're very jealous. It seemed like probably the coolest thing out there, but particularly interested in the car that you're driving. Do you want to talk us through it?
Yeah, so it's a Brabham, which was racing in Formula 1 from 91 to 92, and actually the story behind it is that Giovanna Amatis was the last woman to race in Formula 1, and she drove in that car. It had a little bit different livery, but because I'm in Formula 3 with the goal to reach F1, the car owner asked me to drive the car already last year here for the Gulf Historic Grand Prix, and yeah, I'm here back again. And actually also Damon Hill was one of the Formula 1 drivers. It was actually his first F1 car he raced in before winning a World Championship. So yeah, it's super much fun to drive. I mean, it's different compared to nowadays cars. You have a H shift and a clutch on the legs. Normally you have it on the steering nowadays, but it's good fun.
Cool. And tell me about your lap. Favorite part of the track?
Probably the straight, because you can, normally it goes up to 12,000 RPM, but because it's an old car, we just go until 10, but still it's like screaming and it's so loud, and it's just pure emotions.
Yeah, that's very cool. And correct me wrong, you're the only lady on the grid today?
Yes, I think I'm the only lady here on the whole event, but yeah, I'm used to it, so it's fun.
Well, hopefully that changes next year. But thanks so much and congrats.
Thank you
doing any more laps today?
Today not, but over the weekend we'll have 3 more demonstration runs, and yeah, gonna enjoy it.
So just partying from now on.
Copy.
All right, well enjoy. Thanks so much. All right, have a good afternoon. It's the main event, and behind me we've got the 60s Le Mans cars heading out. This is probably the most exciting part of the day. The sun's setting. It's the most cinematic moment entirely. As you can see behind me, the track is just golden at the moment. So these guys are about to go out, set qualifying times ahead of the weekend. Kind of all money's on the GT40s today, but it's pretty much anyone's game. What's the best part about being in a GT40 on this track? The best thing?
The first point.
The best feeling about being on a GT40 on this track.
Yeah, I mean, this car to drive is amazing. It's obviously a very special car with a great history. And actually, around this place, it is really enjoyable.
Cool. Good luck. Have fun. Standing with Rory Butcher, who's impatiently waiting to get in the E-Type in probably the pinnacle race of the night, the 60s Le Mans. Quick question, would you choose a classic over a modern?
That's a hard question. I really do enjoy classic racing. It's something so pure about it. You know, there's no driver aids. The tyres are really rubbish. So you have to slide. The cars love to be kind of grabbed by the horns and driven hard. And yeah, in order to get the most out of them, you have to slide them, and that's what I love the most about them. So I'd say probably at the moment a classic car here in Dubai with this weather takes the edge.
All right, good luck. Enjoy, Rory. Cheers. Thanks. With Peter Warman from RM Sotheby's, and potentially the very heart and soul as to why we have events like this and why vintage cars are still out there on the road and are still alive for motorheads like ourselves. The kind of key question I wanted to ask you, Peter, is distinctively RM Sotheby's association with such a great event like this that's clearly making a huge attempt to keep vintage, not only cars alive, but also vintage racing. So how do you feel that collaboration with RM Sotheby's sits with such an event like the Dubai GP?
It's a really exciting collaboration. This is a young event. It's only in its third year. We've always done business in the region, but we decided to have a permanent fixture here by hiring a team here on the ground, and that's how we've started the business here. Most importantly, this is where people come to have fun. They come to engage with other enthusiasts. They come to race. It's exhilarating, exciting. There's a great audience of passionate petrol heads that don't see this sort of motor racing, and certainly don't hear these cars now in modern Formula One. Not to take anything away from that, but to see these cars on the track, the way they're driven with absolute passion, determination and skill, we just love to be a part of it, and we're here to make friends, really.
So Peter and I were sitting talking, and this beautiful car was sitting behind me, and I just felt it was impossible to ignore it. So there's this Alfa Romeo sitting here. Before I get into the details of the car, leading up to this, we've been walking through the pits, and there's such a common red thread that runs through these events, but even on the larger scale of things, and that's definitely the word beauty. Now, we've seen it in the cars from the designs, but equally the people that attend these events, but also we've even looked at cameras that the people are capturing. We've seen a lot of film cameras around. It's incredibly fun. So I wanted to ask that question and then tie it into this beautiful car that's been parked behind us while we've had our previous chat.
I think the point about all of this is all of these objects here have a tactile quality, an analog quality. This car, for example, is a sculpture that you might want to stroke. It's a bit like a Henry Moore in a sculpture garden. Yeah. But the point about this is, I believe there's a common thread that runs through all of this, which is aesthetics and beauty. Not necessarily for everybody, but even these Formula One cars, they're shaped with aerodynamics in mind, but the engineers had such attention to detail that they made them beautiful at the same time.
It's a priority.
It's a sculpted thing, and as you say, whether it's watches, whether it's jewelry, whether it's shoes, suits, hats, I think we all love to have something that's tangible, something that we can cherish, something that we can polish, take care of, and build a relationship with over a period of time. And if it's beautiful enough, you never want to sell it.
Oh, never.
That doesn't do us a lot of good as a business, but it does actually make the supply and demand equation work quite well, because people hang on to things, people then lust after them. Yeah. So it works for me, and as you say, we have an example of sculptural beauty like no other behind us.
Yeah, quite literally. So do you want to talk me through this? Because this is magnificent. I must confess, I'm a little bit clueless on the model of this, other than knowing it's a Alfa Romeo and probably my dream colour.
Yeah, I'd love to invite Duccio over. In fact, he works in the company, and it's his father's collection that this is from. So we're really privileged to have it here. Hi, Duccio.
Hey Dieter, we're just drooling over your car, so apologies for whatever drool marks you found on there. But we're just about to talk through the details of it. I've got a wonderful overview of the history and just heard that it's an amazing trip through Italy. Yeah. So congrats, and thank you for keeping this alive.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Do you want to talk us through what, I mean, first and foremost, what's your favorite detail about this car?
Well, there are many details about this car that makes it super special and super nice. I think the side of this car is very special. Yeah. It's a great example of Art Deco Italian style, quite futuristic, quite advanced for the time. This was designed in 1936, based on a 1750 Alfa Romeo Zagato racing chassis. Yeah. So it's a racing car with a beautiful, elegant body. But what strikes me the most is probably the fact that this was designed in 1936. So if you look at other cars built in the same era, this is 15 years, you know, in advance. So yeah, it's just a beautiful thing. Like if you look at the front, for example, the front grille reminds of the beautiful Alfettas. They won the first World Championship, yeah, it's a streamlined, revolutionary one-off, only built in one example. And the designer is Mario Revelli di Beaumont, who is an Italian designer who's considered to be probably the best and most famous Art Deco pre-war designer in Europe.
Well, I can only thank you from the bottom of my heart for keeping such beautiful vehicles on the road and looked after with such passion and care. So thank you very much. I know you boys have a cycling race to go off and do.
Yeah.
Got some Lycra to slip on and some vintage bikes to pedal around this track. So
exactly.
Hopefully you achieve the same speed as the GT50s we were just watching screaming past. So good luck with that. But thank